breaking news we got you just before the break. Barcelona have announced Hansi Flick as their new head coach.
Hansi Flick
Signs a contract until the 2026.
Hansi Flick, the manager who's been giving Barca fans their worst nightmares in recent years, has now become their saviour. And yeah, he basically has won everything possible at Bayern. But there's the real question. Is his managerial style actually good? What about his tactics? No one's really talking about this stuff. But guess what? We're about to spill all the tea on Hansi Flick. Hansi Flick's rise to fame seemed almost meteoric. But did you know that before he became the head coach everyone was talking about, he spent 10 years managing in the lower divisions? Yeah, a whole decade out of the spotlight, grinding it out without the fanfare. Then he spent another 10 years as an assistant coach for Germany and Bayern. That's 20 years of experience before he even got the chance to lead a top team. Now, when Flick stepped up and led Bayern Munich to that unforgettable season, people were quick to label him a genius. And why wouldn't they? He took over mid-season and turned things around, winning the Bundesliga, the DFB Pokal, and the Champions League. But here's the thing about quick success in football. It attracts both fans and critics. When a manager does something noteworthy early on, they get hyped. And with hype comes scrutiny. People start to pay attention, and some are just waiting for that first big failure to pounce. Take Pep Guardiola, for example. He faced immense scrutiny early in his career. Every mistake, every loss was analysed to death. Over time, people have calmed down a bit because he's proven himself repeatedly. Yet there are still those who want to call him a fraud whenever they get the chance. And then there's Zinedine Zidane. He's been taking his time, waiting for the right job. Imagine winning the Champions League 3 times in a row with Real Madrid, only to struggle to win League One with PSG. The media and fans would tear him apart, even though PSG's issues often go beyond just the manager. This brings us back to Hansi Flick. After his initial success, his big first stumble came with Germany. The team's performance dipped, and suddenly the same people who praised him were ready to criticise. It's a tough crowd out there. Fans and the media often don't consider all the factors, the team dynamics, internal dramas, injuries. They just see the manager and the result. So, what's the takeaway here? One moment you're a hero, and next you're under fire. He'll be turning 60 next year. But back then, at just 20 years old, Bayern Munich saw potential in young Flick and brought him on board. He didn't disappoint, playing over 100 games in the Bundesliga, winning 4 consecutive titles and reaching the European Cup final in 1987. Unfortunately, Bayern lost to FC Porto, but it was a remarkable achievement nonetheless. Flick's first coach at Bayern was Udo Lattek, a man who had previously managed Barcelona. Lattek's influence on Flick was significant, and they crossed paths again at FC Cologne. At Bayern, Flick also played under Jupp Heynckes, another coach with the Liga experience, and worked with Erich Rothermoller and Jörg Berger at Cologne. But Flick's playing career was cut short by an injury at just 28. Despite this, he managed to accumulate 148 Bundesliga appearances, split between Bayern Munich and Cologne. And what a career it was, sharing the dressing room with legends like Jean-Marie Pfaff, Lothar Matthaus, Dieter Hoeneß, and Jürgen Koller at Bayern, and stars like Bodo Illgner and Pierre Littbarski at Cologne. Switching gears to his coaching career, Flick is perhaps best known internationally for his role as Germany's head coach at the 2022 World Cup. But his coaching journey started much earlier. From 2008 to 2014, he was Jacques Quinlot's right-hand man, helping guide Germany to the Euro 2008 final, the 2010 World Cup semi-finals, the Euro 2012 semis, and ultimately the 2014 World Cup victory. Remember that legendary 7-1 win over Brazil? Flick was a crucial part of that. Interestingly, the first elite football game he ever managed was during Euro 2008. Löw was suspended, so Flick stepped in and led Germany to a 3-2 victory over Portugal in the quarter-finals, with goals from Schweinsteiger, Klose and Ballack. After his success as an assistant coach, Flick returned to Bayern Munich, this time as the head coach. In the 2020-21 season, he had Miroslav Klose, the World Cup's all-time top scorer, as his assistant. Together they continued Bayern's legacy of success, and now Barca fans will be hoping the same. Hansi Flick's coaching philosophy is built around high pressing and quick ball recovery. His Bayern Munich side averaged 60.2% possession in the 2020-21 season. While that's impressive, it's slightly less than Xavi's Barcelona, which averaged just around 65% in the 2023-24 season. Unlike Quique Setién's Barcelona, which sometimes passed just for the sake of it, Flick's team focused on creating chances. They often used crosses and long balls from deep positions to feed their forwards. Flick's preferred formation is the 4-2-3-1, a system Barcelona is already familiar with. Xavi used the setup effectively at the start of the season, pairing Oriol Romeu and Frenkie de Jong in midfield before the Dutchman got sidelined. One thing Flick excels at is unblocking his team's attacking potential. His Bayern Munich scored an incredible 260 goals in just 86 games, only failing to score once. Robert Lewandowski thrived under his management, scoring 83 goals in 71 appearances. However, Flick's aggressive tactics do have a downside: defence. His high defensive line often left Bayern vulnerable to counter-attacks, leading them to concede slightly over a goal per game. Considering Barcelona's delicate financial situation, it will be interesting to see what kind of roster Flick would want. But first, let's think about a potential starting 11 without any new signings. One potential lineup could see ter Stegen in goal, with Cancelo, Araujo, Koundé and Balde forming the back line. Cancelo and Balde, being attacking-minded wing-backs, would push forward to create width and support the attack, though this could leave the team's wings more vulnerable defensively. In midfield, we'd have De Jong and Gavi, both tireless and defensive-minded, providing much-needed stability. Up front, there would be Yamal, Gundogan and Pedri supporting Lewandowski, giving him the kind of attacking support that worked so well during Flick's time at Bayern. Now, if Flick had the chance to make some signings, we might see a different lineup. Ter Stegen would still be in goal, but the backline could feature Koundé, Araujo, De Ligt and Balde. Flick might want to bring in Matthijs de Ligt, who is reportedly still dreaming of joining Barcelona, to replace one of the underperforming centre-backs. In midfield, Joshua Kimmich could be the long-term solution for the defensive midfield position, paired with Thiago Alcantara, who Flick once called his favourite player. This setup would see Yamal, Gundogan and Pedri supporting Lewandowski up front. Tiki-taka is not just about passing the ball around aimlessly, as some might think. In fact, even Pep Guardiola, often associated with tiki-taka, distanced himself from it, emphasising that passing should have a clear purpose, to create scoring opportunities. The style actually traces back to Johan Cruyff and his concept of total football, where possession was used defensively to control the game. Cruyff's influence at Barcelona led the foundation for their technical, possession-based style that emphasises quick, one-touch passing and intelligent movement off the ball. This approach doesn't rely on physicality but on technical prowess and tactical awareness, qualities exemplified by players like Xavi, Iniesta and Busquets. Now, will Barcelona stick with this trademark style under Hansi Flick? It's likely. Flick, during his time at Bayern Munich, utilised a high-pressing game and quick transitions, similar to elements of tiki-taka. His 4-2-3-1 formation often pushed the defensive line forward to support offensive play, utilising players like Davis and Pavard to advance the ball effectively. The major graduates are known for their technical abilities, which align well with Flick's tactical preferences, but adjustments will be needed. Barcelona's decision to bring in Hansi Flick seemed like a classic case of judging someone solely by their trophies, while ignoring the circumstances that led to those successes. Flick's managerial triumphs can largely be attributed to a brilliant two-thirds of a season at Bayern Munich, where he took over from a manager who had lost the trust of the players and fans. It was a case of replacing negativity with a more straightforward approach. According to Athletic's analysis of his treble-winning campaign, Flick isn't known for grand speeches or media spectacles. His success came from being himself, a genuine leader who respects everyone and knows how to get the best out of his team with clear, simple instructions. And here's the thing, that approach might not cut it at FC Barcelona. The Catalan club is a madhouse where every action, every silence is scrutinised and often sensationalised. The entorno, the surrounding environment, shows no mercy. Even the most well-meaning intentions can be twisted into something sinister. We want to believe that a good-hearted manager like Flick could be the cure to Barcelona's self-inflicted problems. But realistically, we just don't see it happening. Do you think Flick has what it takes to succeed at Barcelona, or are the challenges too daunting? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more insights into the world of football.